First of all, let me get this off my chest. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, don't be a hater. Get in now while the channel's still small before it blow up. So that way you can say, I was the first to subscribe to the dude channel, and look at that dude now. I got 2 videos on IG that hit over 1,000. Thanks for the love. But yet, I'm over on YouTube. So you know what you gotta do. That being said, this video is about the pros and cons of living in Colombia. So, starting off by saying there's a major difference between Bogota and the East Coast. The East Coast being like Santa Marta, Barranquilla, Cartagena. Of course, Bogota is a lot more chilly, a lot more colder than the other places. Think about, I think of it like, I think Bogota like, maybe like how you might hit fall going into winter in New York. It'd be like jacket weather in Bogota versus when you hit in like Barranquilla, Cartagena, and Santa Marta. It's like more like shorts, more like short sleeves. Make sure you bring your sunscreen, type weather. Because the sun is biting, like for real. The pros of living in Colombia. First of all, the cost of living is cheap. When you come out here, you can get an apartment or a condo for, let's say, $300 to $600 US, depending on your budget. You might get like an apartment with a pool or a complex that comes with a pool. You might get even, like if you stay in an apartment, like a single apartment, you might get an apartment with a backyard or a terrace. So that's like one of the pros of living in Colombia. Of course, you're gonna pay for extras if you want to stay by the beach. So just keep that in mind when you come out here and you want to stay like maybe like one of the more exclusive or more beaches that are open to the public. So just keep that in mind when you're dealing with your budget and dealing with coming out here in the East Coast. Cons is if you plan on coming into Colombia or just coming to visit for however long or however period, especially if you're trying to stay here for a long time, more than a month, going in 3 or 6 months, keep in mind you got to know some basic Spanish. Basic Spanish, basically not just saying hola or buenos dias. That don't make no sense. You're gonna have to know some words, some Spanish words, forming sentences, paragraphs, just to get around. You need that for Ubers, taxis, just bargaining outside, dealing with vendors, dealing with people. Like for example, Jordans here is cheap. Not in America where they charge you like $500, $300 for some Jordans. Jordans here you can get for the low. And if you come out here, you'll find out how low and how cheap it is. Trust. And some of them may be replicas and some of them may be real. The real ones, like I said, they're not going to overprice you unless you know some basic Spanish. They'll work with you. They'll bargain with you. But you got to know Spanish. I've had people from Colombia teach me words, teach me how to maneuver out here. So that was a blessing. That's because I know basic Spanish. So, in New York, you got to know Spanglish. However, coming out here, it's not just Spanglish. You have to know Spanish, Espanol. You got to know how to speak the language, um, and just basically, like I said, getting around and bargaining out here is a must. You got to know it. There's no getting around it. There's no you might get away with Google Translate every once in a while, and they might be like, yo, they'll type it in for you, telling you what they're saying. So just keep that in mind. But at the same time, you got YouTube that teaches you Colombian Spanish, Colombian slang words. If you come out here, get to know somebody that's from Colombia that knows basic English or fluent in English, and they can teach you their language. So that's a must. So don't try to get out. Don't come out here and think like, oh, I'm just gonna come out here and just mingle and just use Google Translate everywhere I go. Nah, it ain't gonna work. Trust. I know. I've been out here for a minute. So get your Spanish up. All right. So basically, with any third world country, you're gonna have petty crime. You're gonna have like people that's gonna try to take advantage of you. For example, don't walk out here, especially in the cities that have motors. They call it motor or motors. Motors is basically a way of people taking you on their motorcycles and they take you to your destination. They're kind of like taxis, but without the taxi sitting in the back with the taxi. All right, so you jump on a motor. It's a lot cheaper than a taxi, and they'll take you to wherever you want to go. Similar, like if you've ever been to Jamaica, same damn thing, right? So in other countries as well, it's not only in Jamaica. They got it in like Peru and other places in Latin America. When you're walking down the street, don't be on your cell phone, especially when those motors going by or whatever. In Colombia, you'll get known as a papaya. A papaya is basically, you flashy with it. Jewelry, cell phones, you're not aware of your environment. Keep in mind, you're in a third world country. These people out here, they don't make as much money as the people in the United States. And right now, people in the United States are struggling. So imagine when you come out here and you're trying to be something that you're not, they will take advantage of you. So keep in mind your environment. Watch your neighborhood. You might be even in a nice neighborhood, and there might be people watching you, blocking you, making sure that you up on your P's and Q's. They don't care that you're a foreigner and you're new to the country. There's people that, like I said, most Colombians are nice. They're cool people. However, not everybody's cool. People will take advantage of you. If you drop money on the ground, it's a wrap.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You're not getting it back. It's very rare that somebody be like, "Se te cayó algo," or you drop something. You know what I mean? Nah, you're not getting that bread back. They're going to the store and buying something for their family or going to La Tienda up the block. It's a wrap. You're done. So get your little pouch, one of them satchels or waistband joints where you can wear walking around. Keep your money in there. Keep your valuables in there, your ID. Don't carry your passport. Keep that in a safe place, or wherever you're staying at, your Airbnb or your apartment or your hotel room. Keep that to the side. I would say keep most of your valuables in your apartment, your Airbnb, or your hotel room. And just make sure you got places where you got security. Like most places that I stay at, they got security cameras or they got armed guards or they got people that watch out for your things. They're not. You gotta go through some levels to get to inside your joint. So I make sure like the places that I stay at in Colombia that it ain't like, yo, I'm staying in rough ass neighborhoods. Nah. Well, the places that I stay at, the place is gonna have security. They're gonna have people that's gonna ask you, do you live here? Who you come to see? If you come in, even if you come to see me, you gotta check in through security. You gotta sign in. When you leave, you gotta sign out. Like I said, it ain't all foolproof, but yo, it works. Trust. You don't want to go to a place where you don't have none of that, especially when you got valuables that you need to depend on, especially when you're traveling back and forth. So that keep that in mind.
The Swag King comes!